Welcome to Story Time with Killian Flynn. Today's story is The Last Train to Nowhere, an action suspense thriller by Killian Flynn. The Blackridge Express hadn't run in over 60 years. Once it had been the pride of the country, a sleek, high-speed luxury train that connected the nation's wealthiest cities. But one fateful night, it vanished without a trace. No wreckage was ever found. No survivors, only whispered rumors of a train that rode the rails of the damned, forever lost in the void. Then, 60 years later, it returned. The call came through the Department of Unexplained Phenomena, a classified division of the government dedicated to investigating the impossible. "Sir, we have an incident at Blackridge Station," the dispatcher reported. "The express has reappeared." Dane Holloway, a seasoned investigator with a past full of secrets, was assigned to the case. He'd seen plenty of unexplainable things in his time, but this, a ghost train materializing out of nowhere, that was new. He arrived at the station just after midnight. The platform was deserted except for a handful of armed agents, their faces pale with uncertainty. "It's real," one of them muttered, pointing toward the tracks. And there it was. The Blackridge Express, sleek and gleaming as if it had never been gone. No rust, no decay, just an untouched relic from the past, standing ominously in the moonlight. But something was off. The windows were dark, revealing no signs of life inside. The doors, however, stood slightly open, as if inviting them in. Dane felt an icy chill crawl up his spine. "Who reported it?" One of the agents cleared his throat. "The station master, he's not doing well." They led Dane into a small security office where an elderly man sat trembling, his eyes wide with horror. "It took them," he whispered. "They got on, but they never got off." Dane's gut tightened. "Who?" The man's hands shook. "The first responders, the cops, the journalists." His voice cracked. The moment they stepped inside, they were gone. Dane turned back toward the train. "How many went in?" 10. "And none came out?" The old man shook his head. "Not a single one." Dane exhaled slowly, his mind racing. This wasn't just a routine case. Something was waiting inside that train, and it wanted more. Dane checked his sidearm, a Sig Sauer P226. It wouldn't do much against ghosts, but he wasn't stepping onto that train unarmed. "I'll go in alone." The agents exchanged wary glances. "Sir, that's not up for debate." Dane climbed onto the train, his boots echoing against the polished floor. The doors slid shut behind him with a hiss. No turning back. The air inside was wrong. The temperature had dropped significantly, his breath fogging in front of him. The once pristine luxury interior was frozen in time, the dining tables still set with fine china, the seats perfectly arranged, and yet there were no passengers, no bodies, no signs of struggle, only an eerie silence. He moved cautiously down the aisle, his fingers grazing the leather seats. A whisper brushed past his ear. He spun, gun raised. Nothing. His pulse quickened. He wasn't alone. A flickering light ahead revealed an open doorway leading into the next car. Something shifted in the shadows beyond. Dane swallowed hard. "If someone's there, show yourself." The whispering grew louder, a chorus of voices murmuring just beyond his comprehension. Then he saw them. Figures. Distorted, flickering like bad reception on an old television. They lined the walls, their hollow eyes fixed on him. Passengers, or what was left of them. They reached out, their translucent fingers stretching toward him. Dane backed away, his mind screaming at him to run, but the doors had vanished. The train had changed. The seats were gone. The walls were peeling. Rust spread like a disease. The Blackridge Express was no longer a train. It was a prison. The whispers turned into screams. The spirits lunged, a mass of hollow faces and gaping mouths. Dane fired. The bullets passed through them harmlessly. They surrounded him, their cold fingers brushing against his skin, pulling, dragging. Then a bell rang, and suddenly he was standing back at the station, the train gone. The agents rushed forward. "Sir, what happened?" Dane's breathing was ragged. He looked down at his hands. They were shaking. He turned back to where the train had been. Only empty tracks remained. He knew the truth now. The Blackridge Express wasn't a train. It was a trap. And the next time it returned, it would come for someone else. Thank you for listening to Storytime with Killias and Flynn. If you like his stories, go ahead and read some of his books. Check out his cause bio, links, and description. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to this podcast.